Hi guys, thank you so much for joining again today. My name is Opeyemi. Today I'm going to be talking about how to be productive, overcoming procrastination, and conquering laziness. Please don't forget to subscribe, it's very important. Thank you so much. So being productive does not come overnight. It takes deliberate and consistent action. So you have to keep up with these activities or with the technique I'm going to be talking about today consistently and deliberately. So the first one I'm going to be talking about today is identify your distraction and stay away from them. A lot of us have different distractions, but most the common one is our mobile device. This is just so unavoidable, but then we can always avoid it. Most times when we are on a particular project, we're working on something, and we just realize that we're scrolling on our phones already. Our mind is off our project and we are attracted with Instagram. Let me check this. Before you know it, you're already on Facebook. Let me check this, let me check what is trending, and before you know it, the time is up. Okay, in order for you to avoid this, you can always pull your phone, your mobile device away from you, so you don't get easily attracted to it, or you don't even get to see your messages if you know you're going to be working with your device. Because sometimes what we even want to do is on our device. You can put the thing on airplane mode, or you can delete some of these applications that serves as distraction for us. Unless we are able to do this deliberately, we might not be able to save ourselves from the syndrome of procrastination or laziness. The second one is planning, that is scheduling your time very well. A lot of us, we lack planning. We just go with everything in our head. We keep all the informations in our head. Trust me, personally, I don't trust my head for keeping information. I prefer to write it down, because whatsoever you've written cannot fail you. You can always get back to it to realize, okay, I've accomplished this. All right, I've accomplished this. And when you're writing, ensure that you prioritize your tasks effectively. Ensure you put the important ones first. For me, I remember when I started work, I always prefer to go for the easy tasks first before the important ones. And trust me, this was like a dead game for me. It wasn't really funny at all. Okay, story for another day. But then it is much more advisable to ensure you complete the important tasks first, because this will help you to meet deadline. This will help you to overcome any form of harassment from colleagues or friends that doesn't work. One more thing too is ensure that whatsoever thing you've written down is realistic. A lot of us just write things like they're not realistic. It's not possible for you to accomplish like 20-50 goals in a day. There should be a space for impromptu tasks. There should also be a space for you to rest and relax your head in a particular day. And when you're writing these tasks, ensure that you're more specific. Probably you're going to be planning for a week. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to complete this project this week. No, state it clearly that on Thursday, this particular date, I'm going to be writing my thesis by 6 p.m. This is more specific, and you set a timer as regards this. It helps you to be more conscious and more productive with your time. So the next point is adopting the Pomodoro technique. This technique is really a very effective time management technique. What this technique does is that it uses a timer to break down your work into intervals. So we have 25 minutes straight work, and you have a 5-minute break. This is how it works. For the first 25 minutes, you're going to be working at stretch, while a 5 minutes will take you to either relax or to make your phone calls, or whatsoever call you want to make. Note, during these 25 minutes, you're not going to be allowed to make your phone calls. You're not going to answer any mail. You're not going to be distracted with anything whatsoever. You're going to be completing this task or be working on this particular project for this time period, 25 minutes, while you take the other 5 minutes to rest. Then after this 5 minutes, you continue again with the next 25 minutes to complete your project. This on and on 4 times. That is 25 minutes for the first time, the second 25 minutes, the third, and the fourth. After the fourth, then you'll be allowed to go on a break for as long as 15 to 30 minutes. So for Pomodoro, they call it a set. So after a set, you can go on a long break with the intent of returning back to your work after this time. You can always download the app. It makes it to be more effective for you to be able to accomplish this very well. Okay, on to the fourth one is the Eisenhower matrix. It's also known as the urgent importance matrix. I know we're more familiar with the urgent importance. This is drawing a box into 4 quadrants. We have the urgent, important, the not urgent, not important. The first quadrant is where most of us usually find ourselves. Most people find themselves in this first quadrant because we are more reactive than being proactive. We procrastinate our work until it becomes very important and it becomes urgent, such as crash reading for exam, preparing for an interview, doing overnight because you have a presentation the following day. We now begin to find ourselves in the first quadrant, waiting to the last minute before we complete our task. However, sometimes even without procrastinating, we still have works that needs to be done urgently and they're very important. These are tasks that you should do first. They take the first priority because it is urgent and it is important. And onto the next quadrant is the important but not urgent. This is a quadrant where you should always be if you want to grow or if you want to develop yourself. Of course, self-development is not urgent, but it is very important that you accomplish this. Reading a book is not urgent, it is for your growth. So this is a quadrant where you take your time to plan very well and effectively. The third quadrant is the quadrant that is urgent but not important. This includes answering emails, phone calls, organizing meetings for presentation. Or in this particular quadrant, you can always delegate activities to people, so it's not necessary that you have to be the one to complete this task. If it's something you can give someone else to help you do, you can always go ahead and do that. Advisable not to focus so much on this particular quadrant because they are not so important and we have to concentrate most of our time on things that are much more productive. Fourth quadrant is what they call the time wasters, the distractors, and all like that, because this particular quadrant, there are things that are not important and they are not urgent, such as answering phone calls, replying to messages, checking Instagram, checking Twitter, watching TV, and the likes. They are not important, they are not urgent. Of course, some of them are a form of relaxing, but these are things that we should try our best to minimize as much as possible because they are distractors. They take away our time. Before you know it, the time is fast spent on the fourth quadrant and you're like, what have I done today? Okay, so you must try your best to avoid this. And the fifth point, which I love so much, is avoid multitasking. Multitasking is something that we should avoid if it is not necessary or essential at that moment, because research has shown that the less you multitask, the more productive you become. You are much more productive when you learn to do a particular task at a particular time. Jam-packing loads of work on your decks at a particular time will not just make you less productive, it will make you work under pressure, it will make you feel incapable, it will make you feel not smart, and these are the things that affect our psychology and eventually lowers our self-esteem. Of course, there are exceptions to this. There are some times that multitasking can really work for us in our day-to-day activities, such as having your bath. You can't avoid it. When you're engaged in such activities that does not really involve your mind, you can go ahead and simultaneously listen to a podcast message, simultaneously listen to audio ebook. You can juggle two at the same time without necessarily having adverse effects. Of course, you can go ahead and multitask with these activities. They will really help us a lot. Alright guys, I hope you really learn one or two. Please, beyond learning, ensure you practice these things effectively because it's going to make you become a better person in your next future. And in the course of even being more productive at our work, let's not forget to stand for a particular cause, which is a revolution we are advocating for in this country. And together we can make this happen. Please don't forget to subscribe. It's very important. Thank you so much for joining.